Today on Kump, we have Oscar snubs, milk tweets, and bank runs. Stay tuned. Hello and welcome to Kump.
Hello.
Hello, Lucie.
Hi.
How you doing today?
Pretty good.
Yeah?
Feeling pretty good about myself.
About yourself?
Yeah.
Seems a little smug. Why is that?
Because I was a Good Samaritan today.
What?
Or yesterday, actually. I was a Good Samaritan yesterday.
You were a Good Samaritan.
Yeah.
Like a volunteer, like were you lollipopping at a hospital? Is that what they call it? Candy striping. They don't call it lollipopping, I guess. They call it candy stripe. You were candy striping at a cancer hospital?
No, candy stripers get paid.
No, they're volunteers.
They're not Good Samaritans.
They're volunteers. Who would take the job of candy striper? It's a degrading situation. What do they even do?
Aren't they basically cafeteria workers?
No,
Like,
I think they clean bedpans.
oh, okay.
I think they scrub bedpans.
Well, I didn't know that.
And they clean the, whatever. I mean, I don't want to get into it. It's the early part of the show. I can't start describing bedpans on the show. Well, the community guidelines, Lucie. You don't understand. We'll be demonetized. But what did you do? Why were you so Samaritan?
I helped a little old man cross the street today. Or yesterday.
What little old man? What are you talking about?
There was a little old man. He was stuck in a snowstorm, stuck at an intersection in New York City. In the big bad city, and I helped him across the street.
Did you kick him down first?
Why would I kick him down first?
I don't know, maybe because he made Google eyes at you, or what do they call it?
Google.
What do they call it? Ogled you?
Ogled me.
Hey, take your male gaze off my ass, old man.
I almost thought he was going to be a problem.
Really?
Because he was kind of like, I saw him, like in my peripheral vision, I saw him kind of like chatting at me. But But I couldn't see him. I couldn't see how small and old he was.
What was he saying? Hey, mommy. Hey, mommy.
I think he was Russian.
Hey, madre.
Madre.
I don't know.
But he just kind of like came up next to me and as I was about to start crossing.
He did what next to you?
He came up next to me, and as I was about to start crossing the street, he just kind of like grabbed my arm and started clinging to me. And I was like, oh, okay, I guess I'm helping you across the street.
This seems grotesque.
They say that women are all hypersensitive about being touched, but we know when the context is right. This was the proper context. He was a little old man. He needed help.
How little?
He was like a head shorter than me.
Shorter than head shorter than you,
or at least it felt like he was a head.
What was he? A shrunken man? Was he the guy from Beetlejuice? What is this?
He was like, I mean, it felt
You sure it wasn't like a giant tree sloth taking your arm?
Look, he may have in reality been like 5'5", but he was all hunched over.
Right.
But
you weren't there to correct his posture. You were there to let him grab you and then walk him across the street like a dog. Did he thank you at least?
No, once we got crossed, he started to kind of turn towards the other way, like the other crosswalk.
Okay, he's going back across the street.
Yeah.
Did he want your help?
Well, it's like once we got to the corner, like he started to turn towards the other crosswalk.
Oh.
And I was saying like, do you need help crossing there now?
Right.
And he's like, yeah. He's like smiling, but then he just grabs hold of another woman, and they just take off.
Did it make you feel like meat?
I mean, it made me feel a little bit used.
Yeah.
But
would you ever help anyone ever again?
Yeah, it was nice.
It doesn't sound. It sounds like you were. It sounds like you were assaulted and then not even thanked for your time. This guy treated you like you were, some kind of, what do you call someone you put upon? You put like a candy striper. He treated you like a candy striper, washing bedpan.
Like a common candy striper.
His arm was a bedpan, and you washed it.
Have you ever helped an old lady cross the street or anything?
I think I've I yelled at an old lady once. I was very aggressive at an old lady because this old lady we were at a post office. And that
was not the question, by the way. The question was not, have you ever yelled at an old woman?
Well, I don't.
Because I already knew the answer to that. Absolutely.
I might have. I mean, look, I don't go around keeping track of every person I help. because I don't do it for that.
But
I do it for the love of the game. But I do remember I helped a postal worker. I defended him against an old woman who was being very abusive towards him. Something to do with a package. It was years ago. I mean, I was a younger man. I was a little more brash. I probably wouldn't necessarily do it now. I would let the postal worker fend for himself. But she was being very rude to him and very mean.
How mean was she being? What was she saying?
She was just being very degrading. She wasn't like a helpless old woman. She was one of these Long Island old women who were just abusive, terrible people. And I started screaming obscenities at her. I think I might have said something about getting cancer. You should get. I think I used. To give credit where credit. From what's that movie? King of Comedy.
You should get cancer. I hope you get cancer.
I think I was probably inspired by that, and like I started screaming, "Why don't you get fucking cancer?" Like, shut the fuck up. And so that was my good deed for the day.
That is a good deed too. Yeah,
that was probably,
it's all about context.
That was probably a decade ago. I should do that more.
Sometimes it's the right thing to help an old man. Sometimes it's the right thing to yell at an old lady.
The old people need to be organized better. They're just kind of haphazard. They need purpose. Why everyone tries to worries about the young. How come no one ever worries about the old? The old are much more influenced than the young. You know what I mean? People always with TikTok and all these apps. All the young people and even with John Morant, and it's oh, he's waving a gun. What about he's influencing the kids? The kids are you pay good money for someone who's able to influence kids. And I don't mean. Let me rephrase that. I don't. I'm saying companies do. I mean companies who are able to actually, because kids famously don't give it shit about what you are you're trying to sell them a lot of the time. Yeah, they can also be dumb. But what I'm saying is, old people, though, they buy plates, they buy commemorative coins, they fall for every, every stupid from MSNBC to Fox News on either side. They're just falling for every stupid trap.
Yeah.
They're in the mall walking, probably buying Orange Julius. They don't even know what's in it. The old people that's who needs to be regulated. Young people understand apps.
Right.
They're doing their thing,
or their brains have just been fried so much that they're no longer good consumers. They're no longer reliable consumers.
Oh yeah, look, I'm not saying they think for themselves. They just don't listen to but they're not listening to you.
Right.
You know what I mean? But old people, you can get an old person to do anything. It's unbelievable.
Have you heard about that whole AI thing where it's
AI old people?
Where it's AI scams where old people are getting called by AI voices that are imitating their loved ones and basically saying I'm
imitating their loved ones?
Yeah, basically saying I'm in trouble, I need
wow.
I need help, can you send me this much money?
Let them try that on me, see what happens. It's Lucie, I need help. You're a robot. No, I'm not. I'm trapped on a train. It's
the people who are
get lost, HAL 9000.
The people who are gonna, inherit the earth truly are the people who know not to care about their families.
Yes.
It's just gonna get used against you in the future.
That's one of the Beatitudes. You're quoting Jesus Christ's famous Beatitudes. The meek shall inherit the earth, and Lucie's addendum is family ain't shit.
Family ain't shit. Make money.
Yeah. Money over everything. That's from the Sermon on the Mount. So you helped this old man, and he's you think he's still alive, or you think he's bet his maker by now? That was yesterday, right?
I mean, I just keep imagining him just going in that little square all day.
Yeah, he probably
just do-si doing.
It sounds like you're part of some scam. It sounds like this guy goes around being, just trying to find someone who's he's waiting for some woman to to react in the wrong way so he can kind of he wants a woman to hit him. He wants to be he's one of these guys who likes CBT.
CBT?
Yeah.
Wait, what's CBT?
Cock and ball torture.
Oh.
And and he wants he would have loved it.
He wants somebody to milk him.
I don't think is that milking?
Well,
we'll get to that later.
Is another thing.
We'll get to the milk in a bit. But I'm glad you survived that. That goes against everything I've ever taught you about living in the city.
Yeah.
That old man was, he might as well have been. If you check yourself for leprosy, it's very contagious, by the way. I hope you're not a leper now. Imagine that 2 months before the wedding, Lucie got leprosy. No, we're still gonna do it. What is leprosy?
Did they ever give it like a real name?
I don't think so. I think, yeah.
What's leprosy? I'm gonna
look it up. Look up what leprosy is. I know it's like open sores, and some kind of your neck it turns to goo or something. That can't be right.
Hansen's disease.
Hansen's disease.
So they actually ended up naming it after someone.
Did one of the members of Hansen get leprosy? The Mbop band?
Why is it called Hansen's disease?
I don't know.
Why did Hansen get the win on that?
He probably is a guy who injected a bunch of old people with leprosy cells.
Yeah.
And like some kind of with some subterfuge, and then they named it. He did a study. Like I got a bunch of old people to show up to my Stop the Steal rally, and I fed them a bunch of weird bread or whatever. However you get leprosy. Yeah, well that's cool. So you did your deed. You want a medal? You're not getting one. Moving on. We have to address, even though, look, I'm going to say this now. It's a good time, and I'm going to use the graphic, to subscribe to our show. It's on YouTube or on, Spotify or a podcast app. Hit the click button. Hit the click button. Notifications, tell you to watch the show, whatever it is. That's part of the business. I'm smooth as silk, aren't I?
Oh, it's just got that buttery voice.
Look, we need money. Help us make money. I'm your AI wife. I'm your wife. Please help us. I'm not a robot. We're in trouble. We should try that for the show, just to get people to subscribe. We'll use AI chatbots. This is your dead wife. Please subscribe to Kump. Oh my god, can we do that? Can we get someone who's like a widower, right? Can we be like, hey, like in his dead wife's voice, be like, I'm in heaven, don't worry about me, but I just think I really feel very strongly that you should subscribe to Kump, the podcast and YouTube show.
I just think you'd like it.
It's just, anyway, don't everything's fine otherwise. Don't bother telling me about the kids. I'm sure they're fine. Can we? Is that like, if these scammers can do it, why can't we?
You're right.
How much did it cost to buy a chat computer? Or an AI chat computer, whatever. Don't you need some kind of supercomputer? Can I run this off of a Dell?
I think you might be able to run it off a Dell.
Like a 2006 Dell laptop? That'd be nice. Anyway, subscribe. But yeah, look. On the Patreon, we also have a Patreon, patreon.com/RayComp. You get an extra episode every week for $5 a month, so that's pretty nice. And I bring it up to say, we talked about the Oscars. We mentioned it last week, is why we have to, I'm addressing it now. And we went in depth on the Oscars on our Patreon. We're going to cover it a little bit right now, a couple of things we left off. But we have a full hour going into the depravity. People think last year's was a weird Oscar. One person got slapped.
Yeah.
I feel like the entire world got slapped. In this year's Oscars, so it's a little bigger deal in my opinion. I know I'm in the minority, but yeah. So the Oscars, Everything Everywhere All at Once, a movie I declared my disdain for, won everything. Almost,
yeah,
almost
pretty
everything.
Much every
all at
important
once.
thing it won, yeah.
And Hot Dog Hands, congratulate Craig. I know when I'm beaten. Congratulations to the Hot Dog Hands movie. Whatever it's called.
You just said the name.
Well, that's called throwing shade in the business, if you knew. You're too busy helping old men to throw shade.
Yeah.
But another, besides the fact that movie, that travesty of a movie won, in my opinion, Lucie thinks it's fine.
I think it's fine, but I think the way people talk about it is insane.
Yeah. I think you're insane for thinking it's fine. But that's besides the point, because there's a bigger fish to fry right now. The Oscar, bigger fish to no, that's a saying, right? Yeah, that's a weird saying.
That's a saying, yeah.
It's a bigger fish to fry.
Don't doubt yourself.
I feel like a fry cook. The Oscars have their in memoriam every year, right? You know what this is. It's when they round up the dead people like ghosts, and they put them into a little video montage.
Yeah.
And they love to just parade the dead. Like hey, remember this guy from Birth of a Nation? Well, now he's dead. Let's play some piano music, right? Well, this year they left off a few people.
People get snubbed.
Usually when you hear about a snub, it's some guy who was like, a key grip on like, some Tarzan movie in the 40s. And you're like, yeah, I'm sorry, your grandpa's in hell right now and he's not getting an in memoriam. That's what I say to this family. But this year, let's just bring this up. We have a bunch of people. Should we play this clip, I guess? Let's bring this up.
Fan favorite mobsters, rising stars, and tragic icons. On the biggest night in Hollywood, the Oscars in Memoriam segment had some major snubs. The Academy Awards are designed to celebrate the most outstanding.
How do I get her? She has a nice voice. Can I get her to voice myself on the Kump show? Can I be just typing into a computer and like she just says whatever I'm saying? And she's the one screaming like, I yelled, "Cunt," old woman at the post office. That might help the show.
Yeah.
Anyway, smooth voice.
Work and entertainment. On top of saluting the best performances and talent from a given year, every ceremony also features a moment of reflection to honor the most notable filmmakers who passed away that year. The 95th edition of the Academy Awards featured an emotional in memoriam segment set to a musical performance by Grammy winner Lenny Kravitz and a heartfelt introduction from John Travolta.
I thought he was a man who would come to like do violence. When we were watching the whole broadcast. And I was on my phone at one point. I was probably playing chess or whatever. And I was like, oh, Travolta. Like, good, Travolta's here. I look up for like a second. I'm like, oh, I literally like gasped.
Yeah.
When I saw his, like this, he looks, he doesn't look objectively terrible. He looks menacing though.
Yeah. Somebody should really put him in a movie now.
I mean, he could play like a homeless, a guy who hurts homeless people or a guy who hurts women.
Well, didn't he play a homeless guy who hurts people?
The Fanatic, I think it was called.
Yeah, the Fanatic.
He wasn't homeless. He had a little layer in that movie, but he was going after Devon Sawa from Final Destination and other movies and Slackers.
Idle Hands.
That was it. Man, I'm not sure he was in Final. Whatever. I
think he was in Final Destination.
Well, yeah. he did a good job in this movie. I want more Sawa in my life and less Travolta.
The montage highlighted a long list of icons like Olivia Newton-John, James Caan, Angela Lansbury, Raquel Welch, Wolfgang Peterson, and songwriter Burt Bacharach, along with many.
He's not even in the movies. Yeah. Burt Bacharach? Who was he? He went the theme song to some World War II movie where they use a lot of slurs.
Other industry favorites. But 2023's In Memoriam also made some blatant omissions. There was no mention of Saving Private Ryan star Tom Sizemore.
Well, that's because how did he die? Where was he found?
How did he die?
I don't know, but I mean, how much you want to? Did he have I don't want to assume he had a bloated corpse. Let's look it up for a second. Let's print this up. Look, just.
Well, then you don't have to show the bloated corpse.
I know, but I mean, it's in people's minds. Let's see how Tom Sizemore died. Providence St. What do you got here?
He died in a hospital. It can't be that bad.
Yeah. No, look, he had a drug problem, and that's not a crime.
He had a brain aneurysm. That's a wholesome way to die.
I don't know if it's sure. Drugs never cause a brain aneurysm. I don't care. I'm not a cop.
Did his family blame the vaccine? Maybe that's.
Oh, maybe. Did Cindy Sizemore or whoever start a little YouTube career afterwards? he got the jab, and now he's jib. I don't know. Anyway. Well, R.I.P. Sizemore. I liked him. He was in Black Hawk Down. What else is he good in? He's in Natural Born Killers. I'm a big Sizemore head. How do we get back to this?
Who died at 61, and Heche, the Donnie Brasco and Volcano star who enjoyed a lengthy career in both film and television, was also nowhere to be seen.
Well, and Heche died in a fiery inferno, right?
Yeah, I mean, didn't she she crashed a car?
Well, she crashed her car into a house, I think. And then there was a fire, and then she didn't get out. I'm not blaming her for not getting out.
But she was really burnt up, right?
Oh yeah, no, you know, when I worked at the morgue, I'll take out of respect, I'll take a hate off the screen when I say this. But I used to have people who were burned, and it smells like barbecue, like burnt barbecue.
Well, that's kind of nice.
It is. Honestly, it's not the worst smell.
It's got to be a nice break from like the rot of loaded corpse.
No, I mean honestly, if you ask me like, oh, you want a rotted, unburnt corpse or a burnt corpse, I'll take the burnt one every time. I'd much prefer that. It's ironic because burning to death seems to be a very horrible way to go. Horrible. It's not great. What? Wait,
like butter.
Hold on. Tell me that like my loved one has died in a fire. Or don't tell me your loved one's died in a fire.
My loved one died in a fire recently.
It's horrible. I don't know. I'm not sure what I'm trying to improv here. We already did it. I just like the idea of me sounding like some kind of feudal peasant. Anyway, is there more of these people left off?
She was 53. Yeah. Other legends of their craft: Leslie Jordan, Gilbert Gottfried, Cindy Williams, Paul Sorvino, Tony Sirico, and
Paul Sorvino. I mean, Tony Sirico was like a minor part in Goodfellas. You could argue he's more of a TV. He's Paulie on The Sopranos. But how do you leave off Paul Sorvino?
That's crazy.
I can't think of a lot of great things he was in besides Goodfellas, but he's in He's a key part of Goodfellas.
Yeah,
it's one of the greatest films. I mean, what is their standards here? Burt Bacharach? Insane.
What do you think about how egregious is leaving Gilbert Gottfried off? You think?
I mean, I love the guy. Look, to be fair to Gilbert Gottfried, he was the voice of that parrot, wasn't he? In one of those things.
The goose.
The goose.
Or wasn't it
the Affleck goose? They fired him because of his untoward tsunami jokes. But he was the Affleck duck. Yeah.
Oh right, he was the parrot in Aladdin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's a beloved children's film.
Yeah.
No, I mean, he was one of the raunchiest men to ever walk the earth. You know, if you look up raunchy in the dictionary, it's probably got a picture of an asshole. But it should be his face. So weird. Was he in other movies?
I think he's probably done other voice acting in like major movies.
Sure, I'm sure he's been in things. I mean, he was like kind of like whatever. I just knew. Why would I, as a young child, know him? But I did. Like he was part of my childhood. And now looking back, how was I? It's not like he was Bob Saget doing children's television. I'm just saying he must have been in some things. This is a travesty. They need to. Who's this guy? The guy from Tremors? Is that what they're showing now?
Were also seemingly forgotten, despite their notable contributions to Hollywood over the decades. But one of the Academy's biggest missteps involved leaving out a performer who starred in a film that was up for awards in
the Triangle of Sadness girl.
Yeah.
3 categories in the 2023 ceremony. Despite the fact that Triangle of Sadness was in contention for Best Picture, Best Director, and Best Original Screenplay, the ceremony failed to acknowledge the death of actor Charles B. Dean.
I mean, look, I didn't like this movie. I don't think she should have, for instance, gotten the Heath Ledger treatment.
Right.
And gotten a posthumous Oscar.
Yeah.
I'll go so far as to say, if you asked me, and you didn't tell me she was dead, I might have said, like, oh, I didn't think she was that good in it. That sounds horrible, but this is assuming I didn't know she was dead.
Yeah.
If I thought she was alive, I would have nothing great to say about her or the movie. But she's in the movie. You inexplicably gave this movie a Best Picture nod.
Right.
I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to, nominate for like Best Boat or something, maybe.
Yeah, Best Set Design.
Yeah. But Best Picture. I mean, what gets nominated for Best Picture and barely anything else? They got 3 nods. I didn't even hear the other 2. What were they for? Like Best Sound Recording on the. Best TikTok scene, or just parts were on their phone. I'm just saying.
I think it got a nomination for Best Screenplay.
All right, whatever. Point is, I mean, usually Best Picture nominees like get a bunch more nominations. They don't win them all, but they usually get It's rarely like, look, the component parts of your film are not that great, but together, I don't know. But you got a dead girl here. But we're not going to mention her. But is that why they gave it to her? Like, look, we're not going to bring her up, but we'll nominate you for Best Picture.
Right.
And they said deal. Dude, they gave the choice. They said, hey, here's the deal. You either get an in memoriam for the girl, or we nominate you for Best Picture. Do you think there was even a moment of hesitation?
No way.
And I don't know why that choice is being made. Do you think do you think someone in the Academy, well, this sounds like a weird thing to say about a dead girl. But do you think there was a vendetta against, maybe a snub because of, you know how
another kind of snub?
This sleazy business works?
Yeah.
I mean, now I'm wondering why she's dead. I know she supposedly got sepsis in the hospital somewhere, but I don't know. How powerful is the Academy?
She had some kind of removal of some kind, and there was like some risk of complication, infection, or something.
I'll say it's a risk.
That's the official story.
I'll say there was a risk. You know? So R.I.P. I still don't know her name.
I mean, it is crazy just because she was so young that it's like the movie is nominated for something.
I mean, there's better things to put on this, to anyone watching. This shot of her, I mean, you could have found a more flattering picture for a dead woman. She's a pretty, not my type, but pretty woman.
Yeah.
I mean, dead woman's not my type. My point is but I'm not trying to trumpet her praises or whatever. But why do you have this weird shot of her in this darkly lit? It makes her look menacing.
You ever had a sepsis death at the morgue?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we did. I don't know. I mean, there was weird stuff inside people, weird infections. I'm sure there was sepsis deaths. I mean, I knew people who died of sepsis.
Oh yeah. Oh right.
Yeah. And it was actually ex-President Ford. I actually knew him a little. I mean, I didn't do his autopsy, but I briefly knew him in my younger years, and he was a very sweet man. But he refused to use the bathroom properly, and he would hold it in.
That's not good for you.
And I don't know that caused it. He had a perforated bowel, I think. Could we be sued for this? For me revealing these secrets, the Ford family.
Hashtag satire. There, we're good.
Yeah. I would love that to be the thing we could take it down for. That we just lied about President Ford.
Dying of sepsis.
Yeah. Is he alive still? No, he's dead, right?
No.
Okay. Well, R.I.P. Ford. You have a crush on him, don't you?
Yeah, young Gerald Ford, very very attractive man.
Like a bull.
So I mean, you got me into it. You sold me on it.
I'm a historical cuckold.
Yeah.
I like to show you young Stalin, young Ford, and then we go to town. I get you all worked up and throw a lather, looking at these old dead men. Anyway, anything else to bring up about these? I mean, Paul Sorvino is crazy. Who do you think? If you could include some people in the that they should have, not the people they listed, was there anyone you think was left off? Rebecca Khashoggi, that journalist that got killed in Saudi Arabia.
It would have been nice if they included Khashoggi.
I know it wasn't this year, but I mean, I feel like if they did do it this year, it would still be nice.
Yeah.
If they had like security footage of him being chopped up or whatever, which, look, am I being in bad taste? Perhaps. But I mean, if they showed that footage under the, Lenny Kravitz music,
tearjerker.
Tearjerker. I mean, we don't shut up about Khashoggi. We go, I feel like we're going to go to a war over him or whatever. But, we can't put him in memoriam.
Yeah.
We talk a big game.
That's a great point.
What about all these Ukraine soldiers? We can't put some of them in the thing?
Yeah. Yeah, just take a few of them. Take the one that looks like you.
Yeah, you think he's dead?
Yeah, he's probably dead.
Damn. That's sad. My doppelganger's dead? Hope not.
No, he's
I'll meet you in heaven, buddy. Peace. Anyone else we could put in there? Pol Pot? What people he killed, maybe?
Yeah. Just a few of them.
Anyway. We have this other thing. This is moving on from the Oscars. We found this clip of I don't even know who these two guys are. One guy's like head of the Teamsters, and the other one some senator or something.
Yeah, I'm not sure which senator it is, but it's Republican senators questioning one of the leaders of the Teamsters union,
Right,
and asking him about probing him about his salary.
right. Well, it's a bizarre exchange. I like this guy though. I think we're gonna like this guy.
What do you bring for that salary?
What do I bring?
Yeah, what job have you?
This guy is a real, just like, I'm not saying he's an actual type, but he's the kind of guy, like, he's about to call my guy a cocksucker.
Yeah.
Committed, or have you started? What job have you created? One job, other than sucking the paycheck out of somebody else that you want to say that you're trying to provide because you're forcing them to pay dues?
No, we don't force anyone.
Senator, you've asked the
You're
question.
out of line.
Let him
Man.
answer the
Actually, I
question.
That's your buddy Bernie in the background because he's chairman of this thing.
Mm.
And don't tell me I'm out
You
of
are
line.
in line.
Don't tell me I'm out of line.
Well,
Don't tell me. I'm making a statement.
You frame the statement
you need
like
to
a
shut
tough
your
guy.
mouth.
Yeah.
You framed this statement like a tough guy.
You think you're a fucking tough guy asking me questions?
Can I shut my mouth?
Yes, I did.
Hold it.
Yeah.
Hold it.
Tough guy. I'm not
No, no,
afraid
no.
of
Why
physical-
can't this energy ever be recreated in politics?
It is politics. What are you talking about?
Well, it is politics, but I mean, like, in a political candidate.
Do you not remember Trump?
But
What are you talking about?
no, but I mean, like, on the left.
Oh, on the left. Oh,
Yeah.
well, that's a different story. Why can't the left? Why can't?
Why is it never just a guy like this?
I'll reframe your question. Why can't Democrats vote for Trump? I mean, look, this is, why can't they? I don't know. Probably because your Democratic friends don't like guys like him. They
Yeah,
think
maybe not.
they're look. The left loves to bite that hand. Who do you think does labor unions well? Like, soft-spoken old men. People who are good at chess. Knuckleheads. Guys who, well, you gonna tell me to shut the fuck you, Senator?
But that's what I'm saying. Like, this guy's just effortlessly so good.
Yes.
Like, just run him.
But this is why, look, the Democrats stayed in power for like 40 years at one point because they had this. What Jimmy Hoffa was in charge of the team.
Yeah.
That was the deal.
Right.
Chicago was just making putting people in the cemeteries into the voting rolls, and it worked out great for them. And then they got all like, oh, what if we worry about people's feelings? It's like, that's not what the Democratic Party was.
Yeah.
The Democratic Party was a bunch of bruisers. I mean, look, the mob ran labor unions. That's what, and it was good.
Yeah.
I mean, look, yeah, we all have horror stories about like, oh, guys who worked at Ford before they broke up the unions or whatever, or they went to China or whatever they did with these car companies. Like guys were, you hear like things like, oh, guys would take turns like taking days off because there's nothing to do because there's like excess jobs or whatever. Mm-hmm. But on the other side of that, you have banks just ripping people off. They're all crooks, but you need some crooks on your side.
Right. Yeah.
But
that's a great point.
But the Democrats want to pretend to be high and mighty, but they got Pelosi doing insider trading.
Right.
They can't make up their goddamn mind. Anyway, I should run for ombudsman. Back to this.
This is why. Okay. Also, one quick point about Aaron Sorkin.
Yes.
But maybe this is why part of me will always part of me can't get on board with Sorkin because I always feel like he's trying to do this, like he's trying to write this guy.
Yeah.
And he's always like just coming up a little bit short because he's kind of a dandy.
He's a little effete.
Yeah.
I agree. He's not the most. I don't think he's ever hit a woman, Aaron Sorkin.
Senator, hold it.
But don't sit there and tell me I'm out of line.
Senator, you made a statement. You asked the question.
I didn't ask a question.
You did it.
You did.
I answered the question.
You asked the question. God, how
Well, it was
much money you made?
rhetorical.
Let him answer.
It was a rhetorical
Well,
question.
you may think it's rhetorical.
It was
Sounded to me
rhetorical.
like a question. Let him answer the question.
I'm not yielding my time.
Bernie's so boring. Why doesn't he just shut the fuck up? Like, why do you get a cue from this guy? This guy's handing you a layup, and you're just going, hey, you'll get your time back.
Yeah, well, to be fair to him, I think he's trying to set this guy up. Like, he's trying to make it so that he can, he has time to, he can get a shot in, but he also has time to answer.
Well, fair enough, but then, so good. So Bernie's getting none of the shine. That's why he's not president. Because he gives other people the shine.
So if you're going to let me keep my time, that's fine.
You'll have your time. Let him. You ask a question. He has a
So-
right to answer that.
As far as my salary goes, my salary, if you follow me around, I actually look at this building. I bet you I work more hours than you do.
It's all just such what do you call this? What do you call that kind of statement? Just like a spurious claim?
Just
It's great though. Hey, you're a pussy. I work hard.
Just a lot of like cocksure bullshitting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's impossible. But
No, that's true.
I love it also like this is the height of like debate.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's impossible. No, that's true. No one's trying to cite facts. No one's trying to like make points. You're a bitch. No, you're a bitch.
I fucked your wife. I fucked your wife.
Sir, you don't even know what hard work is. You want to follow my schedule?
Secondly, I'll do it in a minute. We hold greedy CEOs like yourself accountable. Oh, yeah, you are. You want to attack my salary, I'll attack yours. What did you make? What did you make when you owned your company?
When I made my company, I kept my salary down at about $50,000 a year because I invested every penny into it.
Okay. All right. You mean you hid money?
Oh, hold on a second.
Okay.
He threw him on his back foot there.
Yeah.
That was great. I mean,
that was great because you think it's like, all right, you think he's like backing down for a second.
Right.
You mean you hit money? Oh,
you mean he took him a moment, but yeah. Look, I mean that's what the sooner you figure out how fake this all is, the better. You know, like what you sitting there trying like AI chatbot's gonna like make an argument. No one needs that. Just throw some acid in his face. You know, that's how politics works.
Right.
Threaten his kids. You know, I don't know. Pretend to be a doctor and makes false claims about his wife. You know, I happen to be in the medical profession. They found out some things about your wife's medical history. Like that's well, you've never true.
What could that possibly imply?
She eats. She's one of the people who eats carpet and couch stuff. You know what I'm talking about?
It's disgusting.
You know, like with people who pick at the couches. You ever see that on Oprah? Chairman, have you ever seen that on Oprah Winfrey? The people who pick at the couch and eat it? Those people are disgusting. His wife's one of them. I'm a doctor.
One of these couch munchers.
Yeah, couch munching wife. Anyway, here's my plan for installing solar panels at the local pool. Please vote for me, or however this works. Yeah, I would vote for that guy. If that guy wants to run for something, I'll vote for him. I don't know his name. I don't know the politician's name. But yeah, utterly meaningless though.
Yeah.
In the context of this week, because we have a much bigger fish to fry. See, I said it right this time. Fish fry. We have a much bigger fish fry. This bank, which I thought was a made-up bank, has apparently failed. This SVB, what's the Silicon Valley Bank?
Yes.
Over the weekend, it is. Let's go through this story because I'm not at the peak of my financial prowess, but the Bank of am I the only one who thinks the Bank of Silicon Valley Bank sounds like something on a monopoly?
Oh yeah, I guess
it just sounds like a fake bank, or whatever. Apparently, it was real and people had money in it. So sorry, but let's take a look. Let's take a look at this article.
On March 10th, Silicon Valley Bank, one of the most prominent leaders in the startup ecosystem, collapsed. Federal regulators stepped in to allay fears and limit risk in the broader financial system. Then it gives kind of a timeline.
Let's just go to the timeline.
Yeah. March 8th, Silvergate Capital, a cryptocurrency-focused bank, announced it would cease operations and liquidate its assets after a bank run forced the California lender to sell a chunk of its debt securities. Silicon Valley Bank concerned investors when it said it needed to shore up its balance sheet and raise $2 billion in capital. It was forced to sell a bond portfolio at a $1.8 billion loss.
Okay, less than one. You can call these bank tips. Tips for bankers. All right?
This is Ray Kump Finance Boy.
This is Ray Kump Finance Boy, and this is an esoteric tip, right? This is not a tip that everyone can use. This is a highly technical piece of nugget of information that's informed by years of study and just nuanced approach. If you happen to be in charge of a bank and you need to raise capital, here's what you say. I got a Coke problem. Bad. All right? We need to raise money for my Coke problem. You never say we need to raise capital. Are you crazy? I don't know if you're a libertarian. I know you're like a Mises Institute person now. You're like a libertarian.
No.
And and other people think, banks should be regular. I don't care what side of this you're on. you have to acknowledge that these things are largely fake. Not in the way I was accusing this bank of being, but like the whole thing, it's fractional reserve banking. Whether you like it or not, it's a dance, right? It's like, hey, we don't have all the money.
Right.
If you all come, like, it's what a bank run is. A bank run's not like a mistake. Like, people think like, whoa, you have to mismanage it. It's like, it's based on the idea that like only, and the numbers change maybe, but like in ballpark, only 10% of people or 10% of the money in a bank's like overall deposits is needed for the customers at any given time, right? So the idea is like it started out with like what do you call that? The gold warehouses back in Florence back in the Middle Ages or whatever, and they would everyone would just keep their gold. They would trade gold certificates because they don't want to carry big bricks of gold around, and so they'd buy their coffee with gold certificates or whatever or houses, and eventually the guys were like, hey, why don't we just keep the gold and just make more tickets? And that's how this whole thing started, right? No, a bank run is kind of like, it's bound to happen. Now, the Federal Reserve kind of keeps that from happening most of the time because it's basically a way to just kind of pool all the money together. So at any given time, I'm not even sure how it happened here because I'm not that smart. But the point is,
well, this one is like,
it's based on confidence is my point.
Right.
And you have to be confident. And you can't be telling people you need to capitalize. That guy should be in jail for fiduciary irresponsibility. And also maybe for whatever he was involved with his bank, with his cryptocurrency.
Yeah, well, is it that's one thing I don't understand. Like, is it backed by cryptocurrency? Like,
no, I don't.
It can't be, right? Like that would be totally illegal.
No, banks make investments.
Yeah.
In general, I don't know much about it. Apparently, this bank had investments. I'm not sure to what extent in these crypto funds or some other crypto bank, which itself had an issue, I believe. And then, because of that, they have to report. Like, which is also crazy to me because you're not keeping all the money. So, like, why are we so strict about, they have to keep this amount of money, right? Like 10%, let's just say. And if they don't, well, now we're like, we have to announce that because of laws and therefore provoke our own bank run. You see how this works? This is why this is how bank runs happen a lot. I mean, a lot of the time back in the 1800s, they were making bad investments. Like, people got it twisted. People would say like, "Oh, the banks, it was just arbitrary, right? Like, bank runs were arbitrary." No, like, people get a whiff, but the whiff came from somewhere, right? And like, maybe this bank invested in a lot of commercial dog shit, for manure. But then people realize they don't want dog shit for manure; they prefer horse shit or other type of bullshit, cow shit.
Right.
I don't know. And then so whatever. So that bank got, hey, they just got a bunch of dead dogs in a warehouse. This is a shit investment. It's all going down. And, the rumor starts. And look, you got money in the bank. Why are you going to be the only sucker who keeps it in there? Right? That's how it worked, basically. I mean, sometimes it was different industries. It wasn't always, manure related.
There's got to be a way to turn you into a finance influencer. There's got to be a way.
Just got to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it. This is the genesis of our next failed venture.
There's gotta be at least a few million people who would buy an ebook about this stuff.
Yeah, I just lie.
Yeah, or you just lie. Well, that's like required if you want. Yeah, if you want to make money, you gotta lie.
Here's how to make money. Cut off your arm. It'll motivate you. But yeah. So my point is, it seems odd that you have to like. If I was in charge of a bank, this is the one rule I wouldn't follow. Like, you're in charge of a bank. When you say that, it's not going to... What bank ever comes back from that? Maybe thousands do every year. I don't know. But it seems like a death sentence to say we need to shore up our capital. So I would just not say it. And what are they going to do? I mean, when's the last time they put a banker in jail? Why are you following... This is the rule you follow? These guys, like, collapsed the economy 10 years ago with these crazy toxic assets. These credit default swaps, all this, what they call these synthetic CDOs, just making shit as they go. The bond companies are in cahoots, and AIG is just giving insurance to every single person in the world, so they can't possibly cover everything. But the one rule you follow is like, oh guys, we're in a little bit of trouble. Oh, I think we need to recapitalize. Shut the fuck up. You ruined it. This is absurd. I mean, think of it. Who went to jail after the financial crisis? Like one guy.
Yeah.
They mentioned him in The Big Short, and there's some guy no one even heard of. It's a random guy. Right. All those CEOs, all those people who torpedoed pension funds, no one goes to jail. What were you so afraid of? Someone should have stopped that guy. Why did you say that? Insane. Anything else here to mention? Apparently they bailed him out. And you're against the bail. You were actually saying before when we brought this up.
Well, I just remember reading, like, I guess this happened over the weekend, but, like, I guess it changed over the weekend, but, like, at one point I was reading that, like, Joe Biden was basically saying, like, this is how capitalism works, like,
right.
Deal with it, we're not going to bail you out.
He was referring to buying an ice cream cone. He didn't know about the bank. He was like, I pay money, I got a delicious ice cream.
Yes, it's how capitalism works.
But
you know what? Yeah, you know what? This one is on us. Don't worry about it.
You know, in Turkey you can't buy ice cream. I don't know if it's true.
I'm pretty sure that's not true, sir. But
because they're not capitalists. They're Greeks. That's right.
Yeah. Well, anyway, Mr. President, I can't tell you how much I appreciate you coming to the ice cream stand. It's gonna be great for business. Thank you for the picture.
I think I've messed myself.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
But yeah, apparently Biden.
Please don't smell anyone on your way out.
That's how you get the flavor. It's like one of those things. Like what are those things that people with wine do? Where they smell things, right? Don't they like take fruits and smell them first?
You're supposed to do that after someone dies.
No, what? What?
It's a very important part of the grieving process.
Is what? Smelling them?
is smelling people's things. You go around and you take big whiffs of people's stuff.
Is this some like Diane Kruger-Ross thing or whatever?
It's something I've heard.
Is that a woman who wrote the 7 Stages of Grief or whatever?
I don't think she talks about the smell factor.
Oh, okay.
But
did you?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I never heard about that. I was talking about people who drink wine and like pair it with chocolate or something. Oh. And I think they have little herbs they smell or something. Point is, it was something to do with Biden doing that with children before he eats ice cream. It got away from us.
Well, hey, in a way, all three are connected.
Sure. A lot of death.
Yeah.
One way or another, we're all gonna die. Yeah. So this bank. How do you feel about the bailout?
I mean, look, it's a predicament that unfettered capitalism seems to put us in a lot. Like it kind of happened like
John Fetterman capitalism.
Unfetterman capitalism. It just like it puts us in these binds where it's like you have to bail out the people who fucked up or the economy collapses, and then so it's like the only solution ends up being like something that just perpetuates the problem. Like I get why they happen. Like I don't. Right. I'm not necessarily one of these like just don't do it. Just don't bail them out because I get that has consequences.
Well, look, I like everyone likes the idea. At least not everyone, but a lot of people like the idea of moral. Like, well, it's a moral hazard if you bail them out. So they think that Lehman getting bailed out caused Bear Stearns to collapse or whatever. Look, there's a logic to that. There is a logic. The banks do play hooky, right? Mm. So there's definitely a logic of like, if we keep bailing people out, we'll have to bail them out forever. But we started too late. We should have been doing this in the 40s, right? In the 50s. While we were watching Leave It to Beaver, we should have been keeping banks in line and giving them hard lessons. It's a little late as the empire crumbles to start counting. Oh man, technically this is actually a moral hazard. Well, this is like in the Roman Colosseum. If you said like, don't let the lion eat the Christian. Right. I don't know. Yeah. I have no analogy here. It's bad. Things have gotten out of hand, and so we can't. I think it's a little weird now to start going like, well, ignore the systemic risk. Right. See what happens.
Yeah.
But whatever. I get why. There's nothing to be done is my point, which we will not say on my new financial channel. I'll always pretend there's something to be done, but there's nothing to be done. It's gotten too bloated. You can't go, like, oh, the Fed, we got to get rid of the Fed. What do you think happens when you unravel the Fed at this point? You can't unravel this thing. Well, look how they inflated the currency for hundreds of years. Yes! Exactly.
Right.
It's all a goddamn mess now. You try to unravel this merry-go-round, we're all going to be eating dirt.
I mean, the like actual realistic thing that one could do, right, is that you could bail them out, but while you kind of like have them at your mercy, you also use it as an opportunity to like pass regulations.
Here's what you do. Here's what you could do. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
Here's what you could do.
But they don't want to do that.
You bail these banks out, and then you put these people in jail. Huh?
Right.
Huh? Yeah. But who pays for people to get into office?
Right.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
Mm-hmm.
Why aren't weapons manufacturers better people?
I mean, in a way, it's another version of the thing that happened with the railroad strike, where it's like, on some level, like Biden was right to force an agreement because like it would have caused a crippling recession if the railroads had shut down. But but also, like, let's not pretend that he didn't have another option, which was to force a deal where like they got the pay increase and the sick days, like,
Sure, or to just pretend to be on the side of the railroad workers by like riding the Acela train every day, like he claims to. After my wife died in a mysterious crash, I ride the Acela every day to Delaware. Why don't you just get a place in D.C.?
Right.
What are you doing? My boys need to see me. I need to smell them every night to make sure they're good boys. It worked out, didn't it? You smell like a burn pit.
No, but honestly, like that's a good point. Like it's like people think like people think the corrupt part is when the bailout happens or when the forced deal happens, but really the corrupt part is what just doesn't happen when that thing happens.
Yeah,
like
you could have put Jamie Dimon in jail,
right?
I don't know if Jamie or who are the other guys. Who was the guy from Goldman Sachs back then? Lloyd Blankfein? I don't know. Who do you pick? But then again, like that guy was the Treasury Secretary's boss 2 months earlier. Before, what's his name? I forget the guy's name. But my point, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's a revolving door. Put them into some kind of like fight club where they have to fight other bankers at least. I mean, make them be an prison reality show. Now, it doesn't have to be the worst. Oh, yeah, they're rich, so they don't go to Gen Pop. We all love to see that happen. This ain't the French Revolution, I'm sorry. I'm not Robespierre. But I can get you is a nice reality prison show. And it ain't going to be great. They'll have, the food will be a little better than real prison. They might be able to, get some Coke. But, otherwise, and then we watch them fight each other. We watch them, we watch them bite. We watch them piss. They got to take dumps on camera.
Yeah.
That could curb inflation a bit.
And they might honestly they might actually be incentivized by the reality show thing to the bankers maybe wouldn't fight it if it had the reality show angle, because that means they can they can promote their ebook on hustle grind on
these guys don't tend to be those
grind style.
I think you're thinking of like Gary Vee or something. These guys don't tend to like the public eye.
But they could have a second career as a Gary Vee.
Possibly, yeah. I mean, these guys tend to avoid the public scrutiny. Yeah. They're perfectly happy to hide in the shadows, metaphorically. But but maybe.
We give all of them a public relations.
Jamie Dimon's just shaking his ass on TikTok.
We have Andrew Tate mentor all of them.
Sure.
Yeah.
We send them to Romania?
In prison.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are they have to be cam girls for Tate? Is he going to brand them?
That too.
You get branded by Andrew Tate. That's what that'd be amazing. Imagine a trial where like the head of the bank of Silicon Valley Bank, the judge is like, and for your crimes of financial malfeasance, you'll be branded by the what is there a nickname for him? El Madre or something?
Oh.
Andrew Tate?
A Top G or something?
You'll be branded by Top G himself.
Yeah.
Andrew Tate of the Tater Tot fame. I think we got a solution here.
Yeah.
Get Tate involved. Right. Tate's like a fixer now, in our world at least. I would love to see that.
No, not particularly in our world.
I love what you've come up with here. Is that we basically turn Andrew Tate into like what's that movie Triple X, where like they get like a prisoner to be like like a secret agent. We get Andrew Tate back from Romania to like enforce financial crimes. that would be like. Do you think Tate can be? Is Tate American? No, he's British, right? so he can never be president. Damn. I don't condone anything he said. I don't condone anything he said. I don't condone anything he was accused of doing. But I do think he could. You know, we could use like the Suicide Squad. We could use Andrew. That's who it would be. Everyone likes the idea of the Dirty Dozen, right?
Right.
Or Triple X or Suicide Squad. It would be Andrew Tate and Jordan Peterson. And we could use. I guess he's not in jail.
No. We'll get him on something eventually.
I think the Russians already did. Speaking of, we'll move on. We have this. I mentioned a milk tweet. It's not a little cryptic, right? Nice teaser. We have our look. We should kind of rebrand our show as the Jordan Peterson Show.
We've been talking about him a lot recently.
I love him. I mean, honestly, it's like I all I want to do is watch him and learn and just listen to him, and it's amazing.
I've got to say, maybe one of the best things about Elon Musk own Twitter is how insane Jordan Peterson's Twitter has got.
It's gotten crazy. This is
I don't even think this was stuff that he was repressing that he wanted to tweet before Elon Musk. I think it's just one of those like serendipitous things where it's like Elon Musk takes over just as Jordan Peterson is going really insane.
Right. What does he say here? You got this picture. I don't know if we should keep it on screen too long. It's a picture of some people with like tubes on their genitals, as it were. So
he retweeted this thing that's this other account. I'm not sure if this person is supposed to be credible. I would imagine not. But this person tweets out, "What's going on in China? 3-child policy." And it seems that this person is claiming that this is some kind of torture facility in China.
Where they make... Look, I don't think it's that hard to get cum in China. That you have to like have some kind of weird hospital prison.
I don't think it's ever been that hard to get cum anywhere on Earth.
There's plenty to go around.
Yeah.
You don't need to like strap fat men down and like put two. Why are these people so? Look, this is China, right? Supposedly China. These are pretty fat guys.
That's such a great. That's what's so insane about that is the idea that any country on Earth would ever be like, there's not enough cum. There's not enough men willing to cum, and.
Look, Mr. President, I understand what you're saying, and I believe what you're saying is we're in a crisis of a fertility crisis, and we need to get some. We need to force men to give us fluids to reproduce, babies, right? So I'm going to round up the fats, the fat guys, and we're going to strap them to a gurney. Whoa, hold up! Why them? Why are we getting them?
No, we can't. I mean, we've got some pull here with the Chinese government.
We have some pull.
We have some pull. We can get the most fit, the most athletic.
I don't think this is No, who's we?
No, but assuming this is coming out of this, China.
I think yeah. This we can get more. No. Let's just get some guy who is about to die from eating too many. I don't know. Get Brendan Fraser in the whale. Yeah, people are so beautiful. That's really in the trailer. People are so beautiful. He's getting milked to death by a Chinese.
Oh man, The Whale would have been such a better movie if it was about that.
Yeah. If a fat Brendan Fraser is kidnapped and brought to China and milked until he's dead. Why?
That should have been the movie.
Darren Aronofsky's lost his edge. That should have been that. Like, it's the kind of movie he would make back in the day. Now he's just got some guy was eating mayonnaise sandwiches, Cheetos and mayonnaise.
Crying about his daughter bullying him.
Yeah, after he left her, for a gay man, which is fine, but don't leave. It's like, oh, you don't be part of your life. I left. You left us. It's fine that you're gay, but it's not wanting to abandon me.
Yeah.
What are we talking about?
Anyway,
we're talking about Jordan Peterson.
Anyway, so this guy tweets this out, and then Jordan Peterson retweets it saying, "Such fun and unbelievable techno nightmare CCP hell."
Isn't that Russia? No, CCP. Sorry, okay.
And then it was basically revealed that this was not a Chinese torture facility.
Oh.
But actually, man milking porn from. It seems like it might be from America.
Yeah, sure.
But I guess not necessarily. But it's not from China. It's not. It's milk porn. It's man milk porn, which I didn't know existed until this little.
Nor did
scandal.
I. I mean, if you asked me, is there? I would have been like, yeah, maybe. Sure. Why not?
I mean, honestly, like, I think even not knowing that it existed, if I saw this frame out of context, I'd be like, oh, yeah, that's some kind of, that's porn.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know why. I don't know what's getting people off about it, but it's getting someone off.
I mean, Peterson. I mean, he found, like, I don't know. I mean, like, why can't we, if he...
Do you think his daughter walked in on him jerking off to this and he had to just, like, come up with an excuse?
So he tweeted
It's
it
like,
out?
no, I uncovered this.
Right.
This is a scoop.
The reality is, if this can can dupe him, why can't we? Why can't he tweet us out? Maybe we should start doing this to Jordan Peterson. Hey, Jordan Peterson, here's a Chinese. What can we get? Like what would be a weird, like, we get apple picking?
Here's what we do. We set up a panicked looking scene.
Yeah.
With you, basically saying, like, in a very, like, panicked way to the camera, don't listen to them. That was a cover up. It wasn't porn. Jordan Peterson was right. I'm being held in a Chinese torture facility, and they're milking me every day.
Okay.
Please, Dr. Peterson, retweet this.
Should we? Yeah, that's a good idea. So we should start an account with a fake Chinese activist who's just and then just we get, like, one of those Ender's Games books, those YA science fiction books. We take plot lines from that and we just rehash them into this Chinese activist Twitter thing, and you know, this could be a thing. Yeah, this could be our ticket.
You say, you know, they're gonna milk me till I'm dry, and then they're gonna cut my dick off.
I think the milking thing,
and also they're really woke over here.
Sure.
Yeah.
We need more. We need more of the milking thing, though. We need to have, like, you know, that's already been done. We need to have a new thing. Like,
yeah, you're
right. They're doing anal transplants.
That's good.
Yeah. That's one.
Feminine anal transplants.
I've had this, Dr. Peterson. I'm reaching out to you from a facility inside the CCP, as it were. I have been anally transplanted by the party, the Communist Party, for transgressions. It's my re-education, my anal re-education. Please use your wisdom to help.
The CCP has determined that a feminine anus is the cure for toxic masculinity.
Right. And they might be right, but I refuse to let it happen. Anyway, I do feel less violent now. But that might be because they're
taking the anuses of aborted female fetuses.
Wow.
And grafting them onto ours.
How would that work? They're very small.
I mean, they can do
fetus anus has got to be tiny.
It probably is. It's probably too small.
They use 300 anuses to replace my one anus.
This is one of the unintended consequences of the policy. The anuses are all way too small.
I feel like we should be charging, not like the people who listen to this, but we should be charging society for this contribution. We have bank advice. We have anal advice. You're being a Samaritan. We should be like Mother Teresa or something.
Yeah.
We should be revered in Calcutta. Are we big in Calcutta?
Mother Teresa definitely made more money than we did.
Oh, God, yeah. She lived large.
Yeah.
Greedy. She's greedier, though. She wouldn't go to heaven.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway. Thanks so much for tuning in. Check out the Patreon. Like I said, it's patreon.com/RayComp. You get an extra episode every week for $5 a month. So you can enjoy, if you sign up for that if you like. And if not, we'll see you next week.